Hey, man,
beer.
I'm not here to peer pressure you. Take your fucking shot.
But
Take it.
I must say
Let's go.
that mushrooms, I have said on record, I am happy to try it once. If I enjoy it, I could become somebody that believes in the alternate universe.
Oh.
Good Lord. Ooh, welcome to Motherfunkler. Greetings to all our fellow Funklers. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Please share our link with people that you know.
Or you don't know.
Yeah, them too. Fucking awesome people you don't know.
Fucking weirdos. That
Send
invite
us your
you to
reviews,
jerk
comments, and questions. They're greatly appreciated. I am downtown Trevor Brown. We're at Atomic Barber Company. DJ Blue Raja is here today.
That's me.
And the Prince of Misery, Nick Klaus.
Just doing the best I can to survive, brother.
The Intuitive Muses over there, and always super producer. The best super producer in the entire world, the Wizard of Ed.
He looks kind of beat down today.
You
Man.
do.
He's been
You look
fucking
hungover.
Look at him.
Do you
He's
have a-
ready for the shot already.
Do you have
Cheers.
what's your
Damn.
hangover today?
0.
Why, you didn't drink last night?
I did, but I'm recovered.
Is that why you're so upset? Is because you're not feeling
You're
it
not
yet?
hungover?
Maybe.
Let's get fucking loose then. Shot.
Cheers.
There you go.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers with my water.
Cheers.
Drink what you got. Well, I'm running it like at no hangover as well. I drank a lot last night, but just didn't happen to have a hangover. But I was making breakfast this morning, and I fucking burnt my toast. Fucking pisses me off so much. Like, I was making a really good breakfast, actually. Spam. You into spam, bro?
Are you being serious?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Love that shit.
Yikes.
Spam.
Spam is some kimchi, some sushi rice.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. So here's what I was doing. I was going to make a slice of toast. I have some leftover sushi rice, some seaweed wrap, and then fucking spam on top. Beautiful. And burnt the toast. I mean, mild inconvenience for 6 minutes, but it reminded me, I have a theory on life. I call it the burnt toast theory.
Yeah.
What it is something like burning toast requires me now to make some more toast. That's another 5-6 minutes of my life that I don't get back.
5 minutes to make toast?
Well, if you're
right?
going to burn it,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I have a pretty good toaster. Even a fucking really expensive toaster now is only $20-$30, but it's a nice looking toaster. It seems to work. The dial means nothing to me. You put it on 3 and it pops up and it's not toasted at all. You put it on 4 and it fucking burns to a crisp. So, it is what it is. But what I was thinking about is with the 6 minutes, those 6 minutes set my life back 6 minutes of what I would have been doing. And the theory that I've had for many, many years is that little inconvenience, what does that do to the rest of your life? Like, I'm thinking like this is kind of butterfly effect. This is kind of that theory. What did those 5-6 minutes do where if I would have left earlier, maybe I would have gotten a fucking terrible car accident?
Well, so this is kind of odd because it's out of your... You don't believe in this shit.
No. I mean, I don't believe in fate or free will, but I do believe that in fucking cause and effect, and there is the chance. I don't think that the universe reached out and burnt my toast so that I didn't get in a car accident. What I'm saying is that I just, through cosmic happenstance, was lucky enough that I burnt the toast so that I did not get in a car accident.
See, I would think of it maybe a little bit the other way around, that because you burnt the toast, you're having bad luck for the day. And it's going to be a repeat cycle of bad luck. So the next thing that happens to you is probably getting your head chopped off or something.
I don't believe in that at all.
By probability, it's not going to go back into positivity. It's going to continue to be burnt.
By probability,
hypothetically burnt all day.
By probability, each fucking opportunity you have for an event is equal to be bad as it is to be good. And sometimes through random chance, it's going to be bad shit in a row. Sometimes it's going to be good. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about some trend, some hand reaching in. I'm talking about just cold, hard fact. There was a car accident. I would have been fucking involved if I wouldn't have fucking burned my toast.
Is there any way to determine if how many car accidents were in your surrounding area when said toast was burnt?
No, but I can tell there is a way that you can fucking make determinations in certain circumstances, and that's what I want to talk about. Is like I have had scenarios where, for example, I have one that just popped in my head right now, and it's not actually my life that was at risk, but my friend in law school, a friend of mine was about to ride with me from law school back up to Orlando, and his girlfriend at the time made that as the opportunity to tell him that she was a lesbian. So they were going through a terrible breakup, and he did not get in the car with me. So that discussion between the two of them could have taken place the day before, and he may have still come. It could have taken place when he got back from this trip. That's a small thing that occurred that caused him not to go on the trip with me. While I was driving, literally a fucking tire exploded in a car in front of me, and a huge shard of fucking metal came and skewed through my windshield and stuck into the passenger seat of my car. So that literally happened where we've talked about it, and I'm like, dude, it seemed so terrible that your girlfriend was telling you that she's a lesbian today, and you broke up, and you guys broke up. But if you wouldn't have if that wouldn't have happened to you this day, if it would have happened to you 3 days ago, and you would have kind of gotten over it and come with me, you would have fucking died. If it would have happened a week later, you would have died. It was the fact that this happened right now that the fucking you avoided it. That shit to me is fucking wild, and I feel like everybody's kind of got stories like that. Everybody can postulate on how weird it seems.
Well, let me start by saying, firstly, there's a theory. It's called the Black Swan, and so
yeah, I've read that book, and we've talked about it on the podcast.
So it is what would have happened if you never saw a black swan, right? You would have always called it a swan. Before there was a black swan, you never referred to a color. It was always a swan because you always had the visual of a white swan. And
I mean, that's not what the book is about.
Well,
Are you talking about the book?
Yeah. So
is this like Schrodinger's
So no,
cat?
completely different. Schrodinger's cat's completely different. What he's talking about is a book written called Black Swan.
Yeah, it's by Nassim Taleb,
which is not about what you're saying. It's all.
No, it's about events that change your life in a material way. If it wasn't for that event, and the problem with those types of events is that what you're asking, Nick, for example, is an impossible kind of outcome, which is if the toast didn't burn, what could have happened? Because it's just wouldn't. It's very difficult. So what Nassim Taleb argues in the Black Swan, for example, is certain things that you would do to be safe. For example, if you try not to burn your toast. And you would never know the impact that if you allowed those reckless things to happen, what the outcomes would have been. So in my life, for example, one of the most profound things that happened is my wife's dad passed away when she was 16.
Usually I'd give you shit because you always say everything's the most profound thing that happened, but in this situation, it's pretty fucking profound.
Yeah. So
carry on.
Her dad died when she was 16. The result of that was he was a school principal. He was a headmaster at a school. They had to leave the area they were living in, and they had to move to the city, and come to my school.
Why?
Because her sister was going to
advance. Who cares?
Her sister was at college.
Yeah, I mean,
and they needed to be
setting him
closer.
Up for a really long tangent.
No, they needed to be closer to the city. So and they just couldn't do it without the dad there. So, anyways, the long and the short of it is that my wife and I would have never met had it not been for that very traumatic event, because she would have continued to be. And so that is one very obvious thing that I think about all the time, that we would have actually never met. In reality, my life would have been completely different. Another event that happened in our lives, we were planning to emigrate. She was on the Merrill Lynch expat program in 99. She had been on the entire program. And these big corporates, when they have that, they identify people that will be traveling the world. And she was identified as somebody. And she was on that program. And the idea was that we would be based in New York. We started off in 99, so in 2000 we were supposed to be there.
I know where this is going already.
Yes, exactly.
It's
And
like the number one fucking burnt toast story.
and
how,
all of us.
how could you have possibly been in the Twin Towers?
So no, we as a result of the Twin Towers, the expat programs at all the international firms were terminated.
Of course.
So we would have may have been there. Yes, we could have been there had she been ready to be. She could have been in the Twin Towers. One. Alternatively, had it not been for 9/11, we would have emigrated not in 2018, but in 2001 or 2002.
Yeah.
Which would have been very different for us. I would have probably not come to Orlando. Just kind of extrapolating that idea. We would have not come to Orlando. I would have never met Trevor, and I wouldn't be doing a podcast here.
I mean, I got a million. I can draw the fact that I'm sitting here, that I've met any of you, that I've met my wife. I can draw the existence of my niece and nephew. I can draw all of that from one fucking day. I was dumped. I had my dog, and I took my dog.
I was going to say, when your dad was banging your mom, you were born.
I obviously that is one day.
That's one day.
But I went to a dog park one day, and I asked a girl out on a date, and she was like, "Well," she's like, I had never seen her before. Happened to be at this dog park. Asked her on a date. She said, "Well, I'm hosting trivia tonight for the first time. If you want to come keep score and hang out with me." So I went and kept score. She was fucking terrible. I jumped up. I was like, why don't you let me try the second half of this shit? And I did it, and they hired me, and I was the trivia host from then on, which gave me trivia, which is the way I met every single fucking one of you, how I met my wife, how my brother met his wife, like all of this shit, how I got my first job out of the state attorney's office. Like, it's not that I wouldn't have succeeded, but it would have looked so fucking different. Like, I can't imagine a world where I never had trivia. Like, I can't imagine what it would even look like. Everything that I have, every friend I have, comes from trivia.
Yeah, and I would say that to continue in that vein is that my son, my eldest, was a good golfer in South Africa.
Well, I mean, so let's think about that day. What if I would have been sick? What if I would have stopped? Like, what if I've been like, I'm not going to go to the dog park. I'm going to jerk off instead. Like, what? A million fucking things could have happened where I didn't go that one day, and that fucking led to this shit.
But it was something I was saying to somebody the other day at the hop, is showing up is 99% of putting yourself out.
There you go.
To opportunities, right? And that's what it's about. So if you see, if you get an invite, and I must say I'm not that kind of person. I would say I turned down 9 out of 10 opportunities, right? I'm trying very hard.
I don't know about that.
I'm trying very hard.
You say you turned down what?
9 out of 10 opportunities. If I create the opportunities, like I'm always saying, hey, Trevor, let's do something. But if somebody else had to say to me, hey, would you like to join us?
Not a good idea.
I'm going to say I'm not available. I'm almost always going to do that.
It's
right?
like, yes, man.
And so so here's the thing is that I was saying to somebody the other day, showing up is 99% of the luck that you create for yourself.
Oh, man.
Right?
I can just imagine how cool that conversation was you had at the hop where you were telling somebody that showing up is 99%.
She was agreeing because we were talking to somebody that had just been retrenched or terminated at Full Sail. Retrenched, meaning they were let go.
Have you ever heard that before?
I have not.
Retrenched is a terminology, but probably not in the US. Let go. They were terminated. So Full Sail is doing a bit of a
big layoff.
They're doing a big layoff. And so one of the ladies that was at our event on Thursday, she was laid off, and so she was quite down, and so I was doing the positive. Fortunately, she didn't meet Nick. She would have gotten the doom and gloom.
That's fucking bullshit. I've talked about it a million times. If you really see the world through my eyes, what I offer is an ultimate positivity by facing how terrible everything is. Yeah. I'm not saying.
So I was giving her the recipe which is you need to put yourself out, because she'd been at Full Sail for 20 years. I was giving her the, put yourself out there.
Put herself out to pasture.
Yeah.
No, put
Just let
yourself
it go.
out.
Just forget about it.
Meet great opportunities. And one of it was to come to the hop. So she'd come to our first hop on Thursday and loved it and had a great time. And I think that one of the challenges is that when you are going through that burnt toast moment, like you did, right? You are very irritated. You can't see the positives out of this wasted 5 minutes of yours, right? So now she, on the other hand, I'm trying to say, hey, listen, let's see the positive. You can't see it. You just absolutely can't. It's like, come out and have a drink with us. I don't really want to come out and see anyone and have a drink with anyone. I just need to rectify this. I've never been unemployed for the last 20 years. I've always made an income.
That's when you really got to get out and fucking rage.
Yeah, it's like, if you're not going out and seeing people and seeing this as being a positive, right? It's going to make the matter even worse. So for me, these events, these Black Swan moments, for example, it only presents itself in a positive way if you actually make the best of the burnt toast moment.
What about you, Trev?
I'm trying to think how to quantify all this. I'm still very surprised at some of Nick Klaus's comments, because it dives into, and I feel actually it dives into more of potential metaphysical realm that I would be in.
Well, no,
but I don't necessarily see it as a. So let me when I have something happen, I've read or my mom has kind of influenced that, if you forget your car keys in the house and you have to go back in and get them, you should say a prayer when you get in your car, because your guardian angel is keeping you from getting in a wreck. It puts in religion and woo woo, but
this is not where I wanted to go with this.
But Trevor, you think about the idea that you were a tech guy, and somehow, for some reason, you decided to make a switch.
But it's not burnt toast.
No, but it's making a very
not
fundamental
what I was
change.
talking about at all. You guys, you're adding PR's adding subconscious ideals that are protecting you from something that you don't know you're protecting yourself from, and you're saying that fucking God is the one who hid my car keys. I'm not saying either one of those things. What I'm saying is that existence is a complete
see what
roll
God
of the
just
dice.
did to us,
You
man.
See what God just did to us. Oh, that's movie quote. I
get what you. Yeah, that's what I am saying. But I'm trying to understand the whole burnt toast thing, and I don't think there's any way for me to do this other than to fucking plot it out on a goddamn dry erase board. But for just as many things that could have gone right or wrong at that. Well, first and foremost, burnt toast is subjectively. It's inherent as far as good or evil, right?
Well, that's my point.
It's
so
inherent.
what I'm saying is that I'm pointing out that it's fucking wild, that it's just complete randomness, and there are people who
the toast
would have,
it means nothing, man.
Who would have
burnt
done
toast means
way
nothing.
better with their life than I would have, that didn't burn their toast and they were in the fucking car accident. What I'm saying is that it's just an observation that I've made to point out the randomness and the terribleness of our existence. It's not
the chances
anything.
If your bud,
the crystals,
if your bud had the fight with his chick, 3 days before, and he went on the trip with you, there's still just as much chance that he wouldn't have gotten a fucking stake to the head.
Fair. But also what comes along with this that we haven't discussed is that this also presupposes that it could have been better. These things that I'm talking about, it's not just, I'm going to fucking die.
A giant bag of diamonds could have flown through the window.
I could have won the lottery. So you fucking walk in to buy a lottery ticket, theoretically, and you do quick pick all the time. The quick pick machine is going to give you a different number, every second of every day. You walk in one day, it's one, another day, it's another. And you fucking stub your toe when you're walking in. And so therefore you missed the one that would have come right before it. That person won the lottery and you didn't. What I'm saying is it could be good, it could be bad. I don't think it's the universe doing it. I just find it compelling to see that these small, without merit events now create basically our lives. Like they path out everything that we are.
Yeah, but those events, those events are acceptable to you and not acceptable to another. So another person on the burnt toast theory. So I've had one burnt toast, for example. I found it unacceptable and changed my job, right? It was unacceptable. So somebody could have said that toast that you considered burnt would have said it's not burnt. Put some butter on it, put some jam on it, and off they go.
Yes,
right?
The crazy thing is,
that's not fucking.
No.
I fucking love burnt toast.
I do too.
Honestly,
I
like
crispy.
overdone cookies. Yeah. I like almost burnt cookies. So like the burnt toast thing, I feel like the way that you bring it up and the way you pose it, burnt toast is like bad. But oh man, give me some.
Yeah,
burnt.
but it's
give me some.
So what I'm saying is that
toast,
any
baby.
event that you have, to you, Nick, that may have been acceptable. To Trevor, unacceptable. So I was in a situation
I'm gonna ride the burnt
in
toast
2008
lightning.
where the situation I was in at work was for me unacceptable. To somebody else, it may have been completely fine. And I decided that was my moment to leave, right? When I look at that, almost 20 years ago now, 15 years ago, it was the best decision of my life.
That's a decision that was within your control that you made. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is random occurrences that take you down paths. And I'm extremely interested in that sometimes it's going to be a good path, sometimes it's going to be a bad path. And I think it's fucking wild that some small inconsequential event can totally skew you. And I mean, if you don't like the burnt toast, we could talk about
I like the burnt toast because it's so relative. Like in my world, the experience that I was going through, other people, because you do talk to other people about it, other people thought it was just in my imagination, right? That I was being idiotic and I should just stay the long road and continue down that path of being in that environment, right? To me, it was unacceptable. And so on a particular day, I made the decision without consulting with anyone, not even my wife, right? And, we had a wine tasting that evening. And I said to her, at the wine tasting, when you're supposed to be getting all your kind of, all your taste buds lubed, I said to her, as we got off the car, you know what? I've decided to leave. And today was my last day. That's how it was. And so that wine tasting didn't go well at all, despite the fact that we're having good wine. But what I'm saying is that on that particular day, the toast was burnt to me. It was unacceptable. But to a lot of other people that I'd consulted with before I made that decision, I was being idiotic and I should have hung around.
Trying to say?
Yeah. But I don't know why you're trying to say it. Just everything that it's you are dabbling in like this area that is completely against your.
No, it's not against it. What I'm saying,
if nothing matters and there's nothing
it proves that fucking nothing matters. That's my point. With this shit his story doesn't prove my philosophy on existence. His story, PR's story, is the fact that he was unhappy with his job and he randomly chose that moment to fucking leave. Didn't even tell his wife. That's a choice he made, and that is not what I'm trying to say. What I'm because that decision could be good, could be bad. You're making a calculated risk by making that decision. What I'm saying is that there are going to be random events that are fucking terrible or great that are going to define the path with which you live. And you have no choice.
That's the part I disagree with. If you have random events here, there's the with your logic implemented, there's only more random events that have zero connection to the first To say that there is a connection between any events is to believe in something that you don't believe in.
They are connected, but they're not connected by karma. They're not connected by, a bad thing happens, so bad things will continue to happen. That's what you were saying earlier. Yes, having the initial burnt toast will then create other problems throughout your day because you've now been delayed. I agree with that.
I think in the example, whether you actually think burnt toast is good or bad, let's just say it is a bad scenario, which is being summarized by paraphrasing, by calling it burnt toast. So it's a bad scenario.
It's a hypothetical.
Waste your time.
Stop with the subjectivity of fucking burnt toast.
I
like burnt toast.
It takes more time, so then it's not necessarily...
Takes more time. Think
it's
an
not
event
necessarily if it's good, bad, and different. It's how offset your day is on a schedule.
Correct. Which then creates further problems down the road.
Not problems. It can create opportunities.
Yeah.
Fair. Problems or opportunities, neither one of which was your fucking fault. Now, you, PR, may see an opportunity out of this shit. I see a fucking problem. It caused 5 or 6 minutes of my day.
Fault isn't the appropriate word. It's influence, because it could be good or bad.
Fair.
Fault lays blame.
Fair.
It could be a good thing at the other end. So it's like
neither
how
way,
your energy is influenced.
My point is neither way was that your fucking choice. So you're just existing through this fucking scenario and living your life.
No, that's no fun. I don't agree with that.
Why?
Well, I just understood your perspective, and it's fucking boring. I'd rather believe in magic.
Of course you would rather believe in magic.
And make up a bunch of things.
Dude, everybody would rather believe in magic and superpowers and shit. That's why every movie's fucking a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Or Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That's not what fucking existence is. Existence is terrible. It's
that's
dark.
positive. That's
it's
the
dirty,
whole positive
it's
manifestation
long,
part.
It's painful. It's tired. Like, that is what our existence is.
If you leave yourself open to magic, you leave yourself open to possibilities.
So do you believe in, like, fucking abracadabra?
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 Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, fucking, like, give me a spell, bro. Let's
No. So I believe
this out.
I believe
You
that,
actually believe that people can conduct magic?
yes. Easy.
Easy.
I'll give you an example.
Hit me.
So it's not like...
Is it going to be something fucking lame like, in donating my time to
No,
the
not at
fucking
all.
cancer wing of the
So
hospital?
without a doubt,
the magic in their eyes?
there's a difference between like white magic, black magic. White magic. would
Holy
be-
shit. All right.
I'll give this. So white
Hit
magic,
me.
easy peasy. You go up and say something nice to another person. Black magic. Did this experiment in high school. I was taking high school psychology. The teacher says somebody was out one day. A student was out one day.
I'm writing down white magic versus black magic. I'm
Teacher
interested in
says,
spells.
all right, this person is out. The next time they're back, everybody from this class throughout the day should go up to that person who's missing and say, "Oh man, you don't look that well. Do you feel all right?"
Yeah.
By the end of the day, the person's home sick. That's black magic, man.
No, it's psychology. That's not magic. What I'm talking about.
I'm labeling it as magic.
Okay, so fair, good. So I can cross this off. Good.
Abracadabra it's words that come out of your mouth that have influence on other people. I don't
Okay.
believe that.
Got it.
That you're waving a magic wand
Fair.
doing things, but
Good.
I think you can. I think that there is black magic, and I think our words, our chosen
Yeah.
words, are very powerful.
I mean, these words are manipulations, really what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Psychological manipulation is totally true, and yes, you can do that.
black magic.
That's not what I meant. I thought you meant the literal, like, white black magic that you could therefore cast a spell in the morning, and that the events that I'm talking about would either burn or unburn your toast based on Yahweh saying that it's acceptable, or Shiva determining that this is fair and just. That's what I thought you were talking about, but
No.
that's not what you're talking about.
No.
Fair enough. Then we're not totally in
So
disagreement.
you believe in magic?
Not at all. We have a different definition of the word magic. In fact, I think you look up Oxford Dictionary and it's not going to say magic includes subconsciously pushing people to do what you want to do. That's manipulation. Magic is doing things that under the laws of physics are impossible. That's magic, and I don't believe in that.
Do you believe in miracles?
No, of course not. Do I believe that there are things that occur that are so improbable, but still possible, but so improbable that people could see them as being a miracle because it happened to happen at a certain time? Yes, of course. I think every once in a while, Pulp Fiction, every once in a while, somebody fires all shots of the gun and they fucking miss you.
Yeah.
It's very rare. It's improbable, but it's possible. And because it's possible, it's not a miracle. A miracle is something that's physically impossible, and physics are the law with which we all live.
Yeah.
My opinion. You think there's fucking miracles,
no.
bro?
I would agree with your rationalization of.
You think I'm rationalizing?
I think you're trying to rationalize some things that people consider improbable and therefore consider it to be, a miracle. You've just rationalized and say, there's a probability, maybe it's 0.1%, but there was a probability that the bullet would miss.
Turning water into wine is physically impossible. There is no 0.00001.
No, bullshit. I think it is because they just proved in the Large Hadron Collider that one metal could be turned into gold.
Fair.
I think scientifically shit like that.
What I'm talking about is holding a glass of water and going like this and it becoming wine. That is physically impossible.
Maybe there's a machine involved.
Now, I mean, we get into machines and shit. Now we're just talking lower probabilities. That in no longer, dude, you can't say that somebody would go, oh, it's a miracle that you poured water into a fucking huge machine and it plopped out fucking wine.
What if Jesus was an alien?
I mean, yeah. How does that prove or disprove that it's a fucking miracle?
Because if you're an alien, you have technology that we don't have that could turn, that could be like alchemy.
So that is an interesting conversation. So there's a very famous quote of technology. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think. Technology that is so far beyond your understanding to those people would appear to be magic.
Yeah.
And would appear to be miracles. My mind is open to that.
No miracles, but tech.
But that's not a fucking miracle. That's still science. We just don't understand it. Now, if you're talking to me about things, miraculous things that seem to occur, I'm not going to go, oh my God, God just did this.
I'm arguing that my use of the word magic doesn't align with your perception of magic, and then therefore
I think we're kind of agreeing.
Miracle, as far as what I would argue.
What's the fun in agreeing if we're not fucking arguing?
Could describe tech that we don't understand.
Yeah.
So we're on the same page.
Totally.
What we're really doing is arguing vernacular.
I guess, and that takes
sometimes
all the fun
I think
out of
you
the
need.
argument.
Sometimes I think
Cheers
you need
with the shot.
you need to have a mushroom experience in order to fully appreciate the that kind of next level.
Do you, PR? Do you have any plans to do so?
I have never had a mushroom, and honestly don't have any plans. But my sense is that I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Butt sex?
Sorry? No.
You heard me.
No.
I mean, you said on the record.
I said no too many times.
Without a qualification, you said I'll try anything once. Did he not?
Yeah, but I'm saying mushroom now. I'm going with the mushroom.
But that's not what you said. You go, me personally, my philosophy is that I would try anything once. That's what you said.
That's my philosophy.
Okay,
yeah.
so
but I still have to make that I still have to make the decision. And I'm saying,
why would you draw a distinction between mushrooms and gay sex? What if you really like it?
So my age of 57, I have not had cannabis or any sort of drug. I've smoked a cigarette.
Smoked fucking weed?
Never smoked a weed.
Really?
I've tried the odd vodka and I've obviously never liked hard liquor. But
you have a shot of Jaeger in your hand right now.
Yeah, but this is a liqueur, isn't it? This is a liqueur. It's not
a liqueur.
Liqueur. But no, I mean, I tried it once. I've had vodka once. I've had whiskey once. I've tried bourbon a few times, trying to acquire a taste of bourbon. I would like to be somebody that appreciates the finer things in life, but I'm very happy with being somebody that enjoys wine and somebody that enjoys the odd
hey man,
beer.
I'm not here to peer pressure you. Take your fucking shot.
But
take it.
I must say that mushrooms, I have said on record, I am happy to try it once. If I enjoy it, I could become somebody that believes in the alternate universe.
Lord.
I can't believe you've never tried cannabis.
Pot.
It's fucking wild, man. I tried not before I drank alcohol, but pretty close. I smoked marijuana before.
Did you do it when you were at school or when you were
I
at college?
smoked marijuana behind the shed at my dad's house when I was 12.
Yeah. You see, the thing is with me is that the opportunity never presented itself. It would in my school environment or in a college environment, right? Now, I didn't have friends. We were all playing sport and doing,
You could have grabbed some from that.
No, it was none of
that
that.
guy,
the
you
guy
could've
that
gone
made
back
you
That
watch
guy,
porn.
yes.
You could have gone up
You know, if
when he
I-
was jerking off.
Yeah.
And been like, yo, man, you got some weed? And they're like,
He
yeah.
would have had. That's
Of
what he used to
course
do.
He would have fucking
He
had
would have
weed.
had it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, man, put your lips around
Yeah,
this.
put your lips
No.
around this.
So it was
this
just-
is how you do it.
The circle that I was with, that I hung out with,
This is a shotgun.
But
I'll show you how
now-
to do it.
yeah, this circle now that I'm hanging out with, mushrooms is an opportunity. So I'm prepared to do it.
Fair. And I mean, there's not a lot of cannabis in our circle. I mean, here and there.
Yeah.
But not a lot, I'd say. So a little bit more difficult for you.
So
to
I
give it
also
a try.
consider that to be a bit of a, if I can call it a burnt toast, Black Swan moment for me when it happens.
The Black Swan thing's interesting to me because I always knew, I've never read the book, but the Black Swan deal was like,
Dude, I've read the book. He's totally mischaracterized.
it's
No,
something,
it's-
it's something that happens virtually like financially, that completely
Exactly.
like
No,
fucks
no.
everything
What the
up.
book is about is your ability to actually identify something that he qualifies as a black swan versus other abnormalities, like being able to find something that's an actual abnormality. The examples he uses are
9/11.
like the fucking 9/11. He goes through the section of 9/11 and the people who bought short while they're fucking watching the towers go down. You've got the fucking financial crisis of 2007, 2008 with the housing bubble. Like, he goes through examples like that, and then he shows you other examples where people are like, this has to be a bubble, and they put all their money into it and they don't win. That's what he's explaining as far as a black swan.
Yeah, but you're taking it too literally because it's essentially any event that happens in your life that as a result, if it were not for that event, a whole range of other things would not have happened. So for example, I, to this day, have never had and experienced a mushroom.
Okay.
What I am saying is that when I make the decision to experience it, my life that after that moment would, in all probability, be very different because I've experienced something
But my point
that I
is,
never have.
your life after every moment is going to be fucking different. Like, your life could take two different paths when you walk out this fucking door. Like, it could you could fucking die on your way home.
True.
You could live to be 115, and it could be the difference of one little tiny fucking thing.
True, and that's why I refer to those, any one of those moments, as being, you call it a burnt toast moment, I'm calling it a black swan moment. They change your life as
I'm
a
taking
result
it
of that.
to reflect upon the fact that we are all here. We are all completely helpless to these fucking moments, that we are sitting here experiencing them, and that these tiny little things shift everything that we are in such a great way. And I think it's interesting. I don't think there's anything to control. I don't think there's any way to fix it. I don't think there's any way to study it, but I think that it's pretty fucking rad.
Totally. And I agree with that. These kind of moments that happen, you don't actually make a conscious decision that you want that event to happen.
Yeah.
It just happens. And
You made a conscious choice to go up to that guy's room.
yeah, but
I mean,
I
you were like,
I
"I'll
didn't
go."
make the conscious decision to go to his room.
I mean, you didn't put a gun to your
He
head.
intimidated me because he was the school bully,
Yeah.
and I just had to comply. And my life has never been as changed.
Do you think that maybe that crept up in your head little subconsciously?
that
Like
probably
maybe
put me off porn for the rest of my life?
Yeah, does it linger
That
around?
probably
you?
was. There was
Maybe you
no.
just need
There was no
hardcore
cats in that room
shit.
though, so I wonder. I'm still trying to understand why I have a phobia for cats.
No cat birthday parties.
Never. Yeah, never.
Oh shit! I love that shit, man.
All right, let's nugget this sucker
You
up.
want a
It's time
fucking
for Mother
nugget?
Licking Funkler Nugget.
Oh man,
You got more? We got more.
I got all kinds of shit.
Let's go.
So I got something that I want to mention that I'm excited for. I would like to recommend Trevor check out because it's. I want to know your opinion on it. honestly. So when I'm eating lunch, I like to sometimes watch YouTube videos of people beating Nintendo games that I was unable to beat. And I was watching Kung Fu.
Jesus.
You ever play Kung Fu?
That is the most insane thing that you've ever mentioned. Almost at the level of cats.
Yes.
The
Yes.
cat
This is
birthday.
definitely cat birthday
is what I
party
do.
level.
And this week I was watching somebody beat.
Wow.
And it's not like Twitch where you watch the fucking nerd play. I just want to watch the game be beat because I have a respect for it. I think it's beautiful. There was a break and there was a Instagram person, like a influencer, named Unchained Leader. Unchained Leader. And as most commercials go, it has a skip button. And at the first 30 seconds I'm listening to him, and he kind of sounds like a fucking whack job. And then he starts talking. He's like, yeah, I ruined my life, and I have the way for you to redeem yourself. I have the way to... And I'm like, whatever. I'm not even paying attention. And then he says that his problem was that he was addicted to jerking off. Okay? Addicted to masturbation. And that his system under Unchained Leader can teach you to no longer pleasure yourself. I found it so fucking interesting and so fucking just outside the fringe of all of the human experience. I'd really like for you to watch it. Because, I mean, you did. I would like to check up on, by the way, how many, because you mentioned it on the fucking air.
Yeah, go for it.
When's the end of abstinence?
A week from today.
8 days or 7 days from now.
And it was longer than 40. Instead of doing 40, I did however many full weeks, so I rounded up to the next week.
So 42 days would be 7 times 6. So instead of 40 days, which you announced without discussing with your wife on the air, you rounded it up.
Yeah.
And now you've got 7 days from today.
Yes.
Just checking. So with regard to that, this guy sounds like a David Koresh fucking maniac. And what I think is that either A, he sees an opportunity to find a bunch of really sad fucking weirdos who are willing to pay to listen to him talk about why you shouldn't jerk off. More so, what I think happened is that he got caught by his wife jerking off some nasty shit, and this is his repentance. He started this company, and I want you to take a look at that. So that's the first thing I'd like to talk about during Nuggets. Next thing I've got during Nuggets, Thursday after the hop, I went to Death in the Afternoon, which I've briefly mentioned, but I was so fucking hammered drunk when I went to Death in the Afternoon, I don't remember what the food tasted like. And I wanted to give a response to Death in the Afternoon now. The drinks are phenomenal, okay? Are you aware of this place?
It's next to Strand, right?
It's across the street, next to a smoke shop, strip mall. They're kind of famous for being like an absinthe bar.
I know of it. I've never been in.
Yeah, so the drinks are phenomenal. Here's what I'll tell you about the food. The chorizo burger, fantastic. Fries are good. I mean, they're French fries. The French fries are fucking good everywhere, right? Some of the other dishes, a little bit left to be desired. So I wouldn't say Death in the Afternoon is some fucking place that I highly recommend. I will tell you the drinks are awesome. If you are going to go there to eat, I recommend the chorizo burger because it is fantastic. That was my Thursday. Friday, I had to do a deposition in Miami of a person who was 25 years old at the time, and he used an app to have sex with a 15-year-old girl. What he did, so when you're in school, like in elementary, middle school and shit, these schools pay for these applications on your phone that they promise are watched to make sure predators don't get on these fucking apps. Because people, like my client's parents, only allowed her to have a phone that has access to shit that's crazy secure. They wouldn't let her have fucking internet access. They were like, you get this app because your teachers are going to talk to you on it. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to us, and somebody's watching it. Well, through Discovery, I got the text messages, and they were not watching because it's like, hey, come meet me at the park because I'm going to fuck you in your ass. Like, it's as clear as can possibly be. Anyway, had to do that deposition, and I took the Brightline from Orlando to Miami. Fucking big thumbs up, dude. You ever you got to go to Miami for any reason, this shit is tight. Like, it's relatively inexpensive. You park at Terminal C.
Did you take the Premier? As I'm thinking of doing it when I go.
Of course I did Premier.
So it's pretty. It's like $260 return, right?
$260 both ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have spent $85 in gas. But the biggest thing is that instead of fucking having to drive for 8 hours, where I'm actually focused on driving, I was able to set up my laptop. I was able to work. I was able to get drinks, food, fucking rock and roll. Bathroom while you're on the train. You can make cell phone calls. It's fucking great. Highly recommend it.
And you park at the airport. It's easy.
So you park at the airport, and the station in Miami is fucking downtown. Like, Ubers are there waiting. It was a 2-minute Uber ride to the courthouse. I had to go pick up copies before I went to the courthouse. Like, it was fantastic. Highly recommend anybody has to go. Brightline is the fucking way to go to Miami. Better than flying. Way fucking better than driving.
It's a lot more expensive than flying. A $260 return.
What do you mean by return? Are you saying round trip?
Round trip.
Is that your fucking way of saying round trip?
Yeah,
all right,
round
fair. It is round trip, $260. But it would be $85 to drive. Flight, it's less time. So, I mean, you have to get to the airport at least an hour and a half before.
And a flight's not going to cost you
$45 It's a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
Once you get there, it's less time to get there and back. No risk of fucking delay because both trains were exactly on time. No security. You walk straight in. Just highly recommend. Let's see. That was Friday. So then Saturday, I went to Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe is going on.
Yeah, Fringe going on.
Fucking A, full force.
Fucking A, man. And me and you've gone to Fringe together before, Trevor.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, what did we go see?
We went to the old building next to the Harp and Celt where we saw the multiple stories of their torture.
Yep, I've seen that.
Yes.
I remember that. I remember this now. I was hammered, but I remember it.
Yeah. So this time I went to one. So Fringe is an unfortunate victim of like the culture wars that are going on in Florida right now. It's very, very fucking water. Like they can't really talk about anything much. And the event that I went to was not reliant upon that anyway. What I went to was a storyteller event where there's artists selling art and the storytellers have to pick a random piece of art and then develop a story around it. So it was very cool. One of the people was very good at telling his story because he created my own thought process behind it. And again, funny enough, dude, in fact, this is just hitting me, but it has to do with cats, to be honest with you. So this guy told the story about getting a cat with his girlfriend, then getting
just
a dog.
ruined my Sunday.
Getting a cat with his girlfriend, then getting a dog, then having kids. And noticeably, the animals are then neglected because you're dealing with other fucking bullshit. And he went out of town. He left the cat with a friend who fell in love with that cat. He comes back and he's like, the friend is like, dude, I would love to have your cat, like, anytime. And then he thought to himself, it'd be really easy for me and better for this cat to fucking give the cat to this other person. But what kind of person does that make me that I'm getting rid of my fucking pet? And I found that to be really interesting. Like, that's a thought process somebody has to go through. What is it to just give up this animal? And he had to make that decision. He gave up the cat. It was fucking rad. I find that very interesting. I find delving into the decisions that you make and how it reflects upon you deep into the human psyche. I thought it was cool. So Fringe was fucking
I think
rad.
we're seeing a new side of Nick today.
Why?
I don't know. It's not as doom and gloom and shit. Like,
I mean, I'm ultimately always interested in how humans react to their fucking surroundings. I think that's why we exist.
cat birthday parties, going to cat experiments. Oh my!
I didn't go to a cat experiment.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
So anyway, that was my day, and then followed up by this evening. I'm going to Reyes, and I think my main man over here, Ed, had the opportunity to go to
We had
Reyes.
an interesting conversation about ceviche styles PR. I think that they're the best ceviche, at least in Central Orlando, because
all right.
it's a kind of like a hybrid between a broth heavy Peruvian versus a traditional Mexican style, which is dry and it's just cooked in citrus, but then it's like dry.
How do you feel about that, Trevor? Before PR answers and responds in argument, do you agree? Like, do you like
I have
the
no
Reyes
fucking
ceviche?
clue what he's talking about, but I like their ceviche. Their
All right.
ceviche's badass.
Fair enough.
It's my favorite ceviche.
It's like slightly soupy,
but
like
the
slightly.
the mix between Peruvian, like fuck that, it's good shit.
So I don't like a saucy ceviche. So to me, ceviche is supposed to be citrusy. It's supposed to be cooked.
Sounds like you do it on purpose.
It's supposed to be cooked in with the citrus, kind of the the lemon juices and
Yeah.
all of that. That's how it's supposed to be, and then you're supposed to eat it as is. What they have done, it was good. I'm not saying it was not good. I'm saying that it is not my view of a traditional ceviche. That's
It is
that's all
cooked
I'm
with
saying.
citrus though, like it's
It
a
is
citrus
cooked with
broth.
citrus. Yes, it's a citrus
fish
broth.
I mean, that's my understanding is that it's just ceviche means you take raw shit, you put a fucking citrus on it, and the
That's
chemical reaction cooks it.
Yes,
right?
Exactly, and that's why I think the one that I was doing comparison. The one at Imperial is just done like that. There's no, there isn't that broth that you refer to, whereas, and it was good. But I would, if I were to make a choice, though, I would not. I'd prefer the one at Imperial.
Have you, Ed, had the one at Imperial?
Nope.
Okay, so you can't talk to which one is
But
better.
you can make it yourself. I mean, I would say that if Ed and I cooked a ceviche together and invited you guys for a tequila evening, which we should try and do, it would be the way it would be citrus.
So if you go to other Mexican restaurants in town, like the legit ones in OBT and like Cimarron, they will cook it the style that you're referring to, where it's just cooked in citrus, but then it's not soupy or brothy, as you would say.
Yeah.
It's just dry.
Yeah.
Not dry, but like there's no soup per se. There's no broth.
There's
in
no broth. It's not saucy. I would say that the one at is saucy, and but it was good. I'm not
I
saying
think it's
it was
spectacular,
negative.
not just good.
Oh,
I
there
wouldn't
you
put it
go.
as spectacular though. But I do think that if you're thinking about an evening out in a gorgeous bar, the lounge area is fantastic. I would suggest sitting out there and having a drink. I'm not sure if they serve food there. Do they? But the food looks really good. The happy hour is fantastic. It is definitely a venue that you should try and go to.
All right.
Absolutely.
All
I like it. Well, the only other thing I'll say about Funkler Nuggets is that when this airs, it will be not this Thursday, but next Thursday will be Hop Hannibal. So come check it out. Third Thursday of June, we'll be partying.
Fucking A.
4:00. Let's fucking rage. So there you go.
All right. Let's wrap this sucker up.
Good?
Man.
Everybody
Yeah.
good?
Thank you for listening. DJ, the Young and the Restless over here, and the Prince of Misery. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. You're my best friends.
Always. I love you, man.
I gotta finish this bottle of Pinot Grigio.
Are you going to finish that?
Well, I have
right
to.
here?
I'll sit here and finish it with you.
Yeah, we'll sit here and watch.
I mean,
All
you
right,
got,
here we go.
dude, you got 20% left of that
Pinot
bottle, man.
Grigio.
All right, hit like and subscribe. We love hearing from our fellow Funklers. So please leave us comments, questions, requests. Connect with us on social media for adventures throughout the week. And don't do anything I wouldn't
See you
do.
in the promised land, you sexy motherfucker.
Burnt toast.